Your music variety, Star 105.5.
Hey, it's Molly J, and I'm back at McHenry County College. This time we're learning all about the special needs program here at MCC. And to tell us all about that is the manager of special needs, Lily O'Connell. Thank you for taking a minute to talk to us about this.
Happy to have the opportunity.
Now, you are fairly new to the college.
Yes, I am.
Where did you come from?
I came from Edgewood College in Madison, Wisconsin, which is a small four-year liberal arts college. And then before that, I worked at Loyola University of Chicago, then briefly at DePaul University, and then at the former Barra College in Lake Forest, Illinois, that had a special program. Yes, I've always worked with students with disabilities. My training is in learning disabilities and education. So
now you throw the term out, disabilities. This obviously falls under the umbrella of special needs. Can you kind of shine some light on that term?
Well, disabilities relate to any type of condition, either temporary or permanent, that might present a challenge for someone overcoming certain barriers. So these disabilities can be cognitive in nature. It can be a learning disability. It can be autism. It can be intellectual disability or developmental disability. It can be psychiatric or psychological. So it can be a student who has bipolar disorder or major depression or something along those lines. It can be physical. It can be mobility, getting around. It can be motor, handling things. It can be sensory, so visual or audio. And it can be a chronic medical condition. So Crohn's disease or something that causes chronic pain or recurring symptoms. And also we work with students who have temporary disabling conditions. So if they break their arm or something and they need, a note taker in a class or something, we provide those services and accommodations as well.
It's really neat that MCC does this, and I just want to know, if I was someone who wanted to utilize these services, what kind of services would I be utilizing?
Well, this is going to depend, in terms of accommodations, it's going to depend on the nature of the disability. And so, now for students who don't have disabilities for whom we give services, we do provide tutoring and assistance with note-taking. But in terms of accommodations like extended time on tests, or things like that, alternative text formats, or some of the other things that we do here, it's going to depend on the disability. I mean, for instance, if you are deaf, I would provide, with a sign language interpreter in your class. So certainly if you weren't deaf, you wouldn't need that.
Right.
Likewise, if you have a print disability or certain attention deficit disorders that might affect you paying attention to your reading, we might provide you with an e-copy that the computer would read out loud to you, to support you. So it's really going to depend on the nature of the disability, the needs of the student, what's helped them in the past. The student is the primary source of information for me. What has helped them in the past?
So that student comes to you, they tell you what they're struggling with, and you're able to place them in various classes to help them learn?
Well, I don't place them in classes, no. I help support them in the classes that they're in. But I do work carefully with one of the academic advisors here who works with our students, who kind of specializes with working with them. And then I always look over their schedule to make sure I think it fits their learning profile. Sometimes students think rather magically when they come to college thinking, oh, I can do 6 classes and, things like that. So sometimes they just need a little bit of extra guidance in choosing the right
Now, this
schedule.
extra guidance to somebody who may not have, may not fall under the umbrella of special needs, they might see it as an unfair advantage. Do you think that's the case?
Well, it's really about leveling the playing field. So in terms of, say, providing a student extra time on a test. So we're going to provide a student extra time on a test if, say, the time limit is presenting a barrier. Say the student has a slower reading rate or has trouble formulating their ideas, or maybe they have to type, using, various types of technology and stuff. We're going to give them extended time. But most research shows that for students who don't need the extended time, the time doesn't really help them.
There's another term that's thrown out there called documented disability. What does that mean?
Well, a documented disability is one that has some sort of supporting evidentiary documentation from a qualified professional. So somebody who's qualified to diagnose the disability. Now, in keeping with the amended ADA that was amended in 2010, the amendment was to kind of remove some of those qualification type barriers and things like that. So I always tell students, don't be awfully concerned about having all that documentation in place before you come and see me. I want to see you and make sure we get everything in place before the semester starts, off to a good start. College moves really fast. And we'll talk about what types of supporting documentation that we need.
I love it. I just love how priorities are in place here in the special needs office. I think it's fantastic. So speaking of the special needs office, what are your future plans?
We do provide individual tutoring for students as a service in specific classes, and it's really great because they meet with the same tutor one-on-one every week to kind of help them through the class. And so as we continue, I want to expand that model to incorporate more of like a coaching view, because a lot of students struggle with navigating through college, right? They don't know for college. They haven't been here before. So to have somebody help them make sure that they're logging on and checking that their assignments are due in time and planning ahead and things like that, to support them as well as in the content area, I think would be really useful. A lot of students struggle with what we call executive functioning.
Sure. Well, this is fantastic MCC offers, and it's just really another way that MCC helps students succeed. So if you want to learn more, you can always learn more at mchenry.edu or come to MCC and talk directly to Lily O'Connell, the manager of special needs here at McHenry County College.